何をちまちまと刀で払っているのだ。冷圧で一息に押しつぶせば済むものを。
Anime is full of iconic scenes with characters going all out, not because they have to, but because they can. And sometimes they flex too hard, which is beyond thrilling. So today, we're presenting some of the best scenes when anime characters flex too hard. Let's begin.
本当の戦いを教えてやる。これは魔王戦まで取っておきたかったのだが。
We're starting off the list with Seiya from Cautious Hero flexing casually as he takes off his weights before his final fight against War Master. When Seiya faces off against a formidable opponent like the War Master, he decides to take off the super heavy weights that he's been wearing all this time. This dude was saving this move for his fight against the Demon Lord, but oh well. I absolutely love the way he gives the War Master a taste of his own medicine by flexing his ridiculous powers after losing those weights. The way Seiya cuts off his arm is pure satisfaction. Well, an eye for an eye and an arm for an arm? The fact that he's been hauling around heavyweights all this time without so much as breaking a sweat is peak Seiya. Moving on to Aoshi Shinomori from Rurouni Kenshin, who won our hearts by fighting against the cocky four monks of Abukuma. Apparently, these monks are untouchable and have no openings, according to them. But if there's one thing Aoshi loves, it's proving wrong to anyone who thinks they're big stuff. Even though the monks are armed with unique and brutal techniques and specialized weapons, they couldn't even touch a hair on Aoshi's head, let alone land a hit on his body. Aoshi makes sure that none of the four monks walk out alive as he tears them to shreds in the blink of an eye, which is just insane. Watching him take down these four so-called unstoppable monks without breaking a sweat makes it clear that Aoshi Shinomori is on a completely different level. Alright, let's get into one of the wildest flexes in Fairy Tail. Acnologia versus God Serena.
俺はお前を倒すために修行を。
Now, God Serena was supposed to be one of the strongest wizards around. I mean, the man's hyped up as the #1 Dragon Slayer in the Alvarez Empire and wields 8 different Dragon Slayer magic. Yes, that's right, 8. But Acnologia? He doesn't even give God Serena a villain monologue, a backstory reveal, or even a chance to get in a single attack. Instead, he flexes his brutal, unmatched strength by destroying Serena in one blow, and that's it. Scene over. After watching this scene, it's safe to say that Acnologia is the ultimate badass. He shows up radiating pure intimidation, one-shots God Serena, leaves August and the Wizard Saints practically shaking in their boots, and then just walks off like it's nobody's business. This wasn't even a battle, it was a straight-up execution. Let's move on to the God of Flexes, Arnos Voldigode from the Misfit of Demon King Academy.
そんなバカな！この城を持ち上げてます！嘘、どうしてこんな力が？
何？自力の差だ。
It's one of the most absolutely jaw-dropping flexes in the history of anime. You see, during the team exam, Arnos faces Sasha and her team. Arnos, being always one step ahead of everyone, found their castle to be a little bit too lightweight, lifted it up like it was nothing, threw it, spun it, and absolutely terrorized the students inside. Imagine flexing so hard you practically defy the laws of physics. But since Arnos is an overpowered demon, everything is possible for him. Arnos Voldigode is in a league of his own, setting a new standard for how protagonists should handle their enemies. Other anime heroes might want to take notes because Arnos just raised the bar on how to truly, utterly, and completely flex.
死ぬぞ。
Moving on, we have an Escanor humiliating Garland, one of the 10 commandments known for his absolute order.
なんと傲岸不尊の塊のような人間よ。
それが傲慢の罪。
You see, Escanor isn't just any ordinary knight. He's one of the strongest humans in existence, and he's got a personality to match. When the sun's up, he gets stronger with each passing moment, and by noon, he's basically the embodiment of the sun itself, glowing, shining, and radiating so much power that it makes Garland's impressive stature look like a shadow in comparison. So when Garland tries to provoke Escanor, he slices Garland up in the blink of an eye. Now, this is the funniest, yet the scariest scene in the entire series. What I love most about this scene are the reactions. Malescula's face when Escanor cuts Garland in half is priceless, and Garland's shock when his attacker doesn't do a thing is pure gold. Moving on to another god of flexes, Ainz, who leaves us stunned with his strongest spell, La Shub Nigurat. Now, this spell is so strong that it instantly killed 70,000 soldiers. Here's a quick fun fact. Shub Nigurat is a fictional deity conjured up by the legendary writer H.P. Lovecraft. She's famously known by the phrase, the Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 young. Lovecraft also referred to her as the Lord of the Wood in his story, The Whisperer in Darkness. This spell was basically to clean the battlefield of weaklings. I think it was even more traumatic for the winning side than for the kingdom. You know you're a badass when you're scaring the hell out of your own guys. This scene never gets old. The terror, the despair, and death shown in this episode are really out of this world.
絶望の始まりだ。
The unforgettable moment when Tanya and her comrades decide to belt out their national anthem right in the heart of enemy territory. This was one of the most disrespectful moments in the history of anime. It wasn't just singing the anthem, it was them making a music video out of it. They even destroyed a giant statue of the guy in charge of the nation they invaded and incorporated that into the video. The Imperial generals were on the verge of tears when they heard that. Filming yourselves destroying the enemy capital, then playing a video of you destroying the enemy capital while singing your national anthem has to sting. I mean, how fearless do you have to be in order to pull something off like that? Tanya flexes too hard on this one, and we're totally in love with her after this.
そうかそうかポルナレフ階段を降りたな。このディオの仲間になりたいというわけだな。
Do you remember the mansion stairs scene where Dio flexed hard on Polnareff with his time rewinding ability? Let's talk about that. Dio is hands down one of the most arrogant and powerful villains in anime history. When Dio first lays eyes on Polnareff, he extends a rather tempting offer. Join me, and all I need is for you to take a little step down these stairs. Instead of caving in, Polnareff decides to climb the stairs instead. Or at least he thinks he's climbing them. In a hilarious twist, he suddenly finds himself a few steps down. He tries again and again, each time ending up in the same spot. Instead of just squashing Polnareff like a bug, something he could do without breaking a sweat, Dio chooses to play the ultimate prank. He's the absolute troll of the century. The fact that Dio, at every opportunity, used his stand to confuse the others so they couldn't figure out its ability is amazing and a flex in its own right.
死ぬしかないな、ポルナレフ。
それがザ・ワールドか。来い。
無駄無駄無駄無駄無駄無駄。
So, you know how much I love anime, right? I mean, my entire career revolves around it. But you know what I enjoy just as much? Collecting some crazy merch from my favorite shows. I was just thinking of adding another epic figurine to my collection when our sponsor today popped up like a blessing in disguise. Let me introduce you to the Anime Merch. These guys have an insane collection of figurines, LED lamps, and light boxes. While browsing, I found an awesome figurine of Luffy for myself. Whether you're a die-hard fan of Naruto, Bleach, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, or Chainsaw Chainsaw Man, they have got it all. Imagine having iconic moments from Bleach displayed in stunning shadow light boxes, or your favorite Naruto characters glowing in custom LED lamps. This isn't just merch, it's a way to bring your favorite characters to life. Their high quality figures and collectibles are designed for hardcore fans who want only the best. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the anime merch is something for everyone. And guess what? Just for my viewers, there's a special offer. Use the code VINI to get 10% off your first order. So what are you waiting for? Head over to theanimemerch.com right now and bring the world of anime straight to your home. Don't forget to check the link in the description and grab those epic deals.
将軍お前それ神を手に入れた私は今や手のひらで太陽を作ることさえ可能なのだ
The scene where Father creates a sun in the palm of his hand in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is nothing short of epic. With a shiny, new, youthful body, this homunculus decides to show off his divine abilities to the Elric family and their ragtag team of allies. He casually creates a miniature sun in the palm of his hands. He might insist he's purged all his emotions, but let's be real, there's still a massive dose of pride bubbling beneath the surface. After all, what kind of god doesn't enjoy a little showboating? Father claims he can do literally anything now that he's reached this level of omnipotence. Instead of using his godlike powers to, solve world hunger or bring about world peace, he decides to flex on his biggest nuisances, those pesky Elrics and their friends, by bending the very laws of physics. Smashing his way into the list, we have an absolutely disrespectful moment in Baki when Yujiro uses Baki as human nunchucks.
この技をマリーンどもはこう呼んだというドレス
Now, this scene is insane on so many levels. Yujiro, the strongest creature on Earth, casually grabs his own son and swings him around like a pair of nunchucks. Now, let's not sugarcoat this, Baki endures a level of pain that's hard to fathom. Blood is pouring from every single hole of his body, making it brutally clear just how intense this father-son bonding moment really is. It's really cute to see Yujiro praise Baki while going extra hard on him, just to show people that he's strong and can take it. What a good father. And honestly, if Bruce Lee were to witness this brutal scene, he'd be likely surprised and impressed at the same time. So while it's totally disrespectful and painful to watch, it's also a unique and unforgettable moment that perfectly captures the wild, no-holds-barred world of Baki. How can we not add Saitama's crazy fitness test to this list? When Saitama decides to join the Hero Association, they need him to go through this certain fitness test that he aces without even breaking a sweat. And don't even get me started on how much he was holding back during this test. The vertical jumping test cracks me up the most, not just because Saitama hilariously gets his head stuck in the ceiling, but also because if he really wanted to, he could probably jump right through it entirely. It still baffles me that even though Saitama aced all of the tests, they still put him in C class. And are we seriously not going to address the fact that a whack-a-mole machine was included in a military-grade fitness test? This whole scenario is like a perfect flex of Saitama's crazy abilities, showing off his overwhelming strength while highlighting just how hilariously out of place he is in a system that completely misses the mark on recognizing his true power.
だってまあ71点の C 級だしな俺そうか
こいつか
悪いけどこれからあんたにすること全部ただの八つ当たりだから
Let's move on to an epic fight from Hunter x Hunter, where we get to see Killua flexing his powers against Yuppie. Killua completely turns Yuppie into his personal punching bag, and it's epic. The build up to this moment is fantastic. The Royal Guards are absolute beasts, overpowering the protagonists with their sheer strength, so no one expected a direct confrontation. But then, this moment happened, and I couldn't believe my eyes. This monstrous creature is overwhelmed to the point where, as the narrator says, he didn't even have time to make a sound. It's such a well done scene that perfectly showcases Killua's skill and power. Killua's combat experience gives him amazing muscle memory. By combining his speed with a skill that lets him react instinctively to threats, he's perfectly prepared to fight against opponents who are way stronger than him. Next up, we have the epic showdown between Goku and Kefla.
技は通用しねえぞ。
Two Saiyan warriors already brimming with power. This battle is nothing short of a spectacle. Kefla, all fired up, thinks she can overpower Goku and even believes his attacks are weak, but oh boy does she get a wake-up call. In her fused form, Kefla is incredibly strong, but fear not, our Saiyan hero isn't intimidated. He pulls off one of the sickest backflips over her beam while soaring through the air and counters with his divine Kamehameha, blasting her right in the face. The lesson here? Well, if you're squaring off against Goku, maybe save the trash talk. You're just digging your own grave, right? The beauty of this moment isn't just the flashy moves, it's Goku flexing his supreme confidence and battle experience against an opponent who thought she could take him down.
おめえもな。
フリーレン、まさかお前は。ありえないことだ。天地がひっくり返っても。
破られる。
While Frieren Beyond Journey's End is full of insane flexes, the one that I personally love is the moment when Frieren breaks the barrier of the exam site. The exam is designed to measure the candidate's magical prowess and everyone's on edge, but Frieren, nothing could faze her. She decides to do the impossible, to break the barrier that the examiners have protected the site with. She perfectly folds the space without it shattering and uses the raw energy to shatter the barrier, shocking everyone. You see, Ginao and Sense didn't even blink when one of the examinees created a new plateau right in front of their tea time. As first-class mages, they've seen and performed far more impressive feats of magic, making this act feel mundane. Plus, with the only being above them not involved, there was no chance anything unexpected would occur. That's what makes it so significant when he shifts his gaze just slightly to the left as Friren's counter spell begins to rise. This was such a massive flex on Friren's part.
これからだろう。
そうか、そうだな。そうかもな。
Toji should have realized killing Gojo once wasn't enough to get rid of him. Let's talk about Gojo's epic rematch with Toji when he declared that he alone was the honored one. The fact that Gojo not only floated throughout the entire fight without touching the ground once, but also managed to learn a cursed technique while admiring his surroundings is impressive. And let's not forget, he didn't get hit at all during the whole battle. Toji was spot on. He's truly a monster. He literally one-shotted Toji during this fight, the man he was struggling to land a hit on in their previous fight. What's a bigger flex than that, eh? I can't stop thinking about the piano theme, which perfectly captures how Gojo is truly in his own world at that moment. It's a state of zen and euphoria that only he can achieve. It's such a beautifully crafted scene in so many ways.
天上天下、唯我独尊。なんだよこれ。神の力か。
Uchiha Madara is the kind of villain who just can't resist flexing on the entire ninja world, and let's be honest, it's hard not to be impressed. Even after being brought back to life, he's still operating at a level that makes everyone else look like they're still in ninja training camp. After he utterly demolishes the 4th division of the shinobi army, you'd think that they'd learn their lesson. But no, Madara decides to escalate things in the most dramatic way possible by summoning a meteor. Yes, a meteor. Madara really is built differently from your average ninja, and he makes sure everyone knows it in the most dramatic fashion possible. Who else would think to drop not one but 2 meteors just to prove a point? It's all in a day's work for Madara Uchiha, the ninja world's ultimate flexer.
その子カムサリ
Have you ever witnessed a fight that wraps up before it even starts? Well, the showdown between Shanks and Eustace Kid is just that. We all saw Kid's impressive display against Big Mom and marveled at his fighting abilities, but when it comes to Shanks, all of Kid's powers might as well be invisible. With a swift strike using his divine departure, Shanks annihilates Kid and his crew in no time. The moment he senses his men are in danger, he transforms into a demon. Recognizing Kid's intentions, it was only logical for Shanks to make him submit as quickly as possible. In the world of anime, there can only be one iconic red-haired badass, and in the realm of One Piece, that honor belongs to Shanks, not Kid. This fight makes it abundantly clear that Shanks is a far deadlier and more efficient fighter than most characters in One Piece, so take note. If you ever think about crossing Shanks, you might just find yourself divinely departed to the other side.
着席の前に一度拘束させていただく。ちょっと勝手に。
目も当てられぬうかつさだな。
Talking about crossing somebody and departing to the other side, we have this epic moment when Aizen casually flexes the power his aura/spiritual pressure holds. When Shunsui came down to release Aizen from his shackles, one unfortunate ceiling guard tried to get close to him. What do you think would have happened? In a split second, that poor soul found out the hard way that Aizen's mere presence was enough to inflict pain. His fingers were slashed without Aizen moving any part of his body, just the sheer force of his aura did the trick. It's mind-blowing to realize just how much power this guy possesses. What makes this such a legendary flex is that it isn't just strength, it's absolute dominance. Aizen isn't doing anything here to intimidate, he's just existing, and yet the existence alone is a threat. I'm so excited for what's to come in Bleach, and I hope you are too, because if this is the kind of chaos that we can expect, then oh boy, things are about to get really messy. That's a wrap for today. Make sure to check out this video if you want to hang out some more. See you soon.